Hello everyone, welcome to back my channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before starting the video, please go ahead and hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. The bold and the beautiful spoilers and updates tease Bill Spencer, Don Diamond, might have a few choice words for Steffy Forrester, Jacqueline McKinn's Wood. Once Luna Nozawa's, Lisa Yamada. House arrest secret comes to light. Steffy is bound to discover that Luna is staying at Bill's place eventually. John Finn Finnegan, Tanner Novlin, might try to keep Steffy in the dark about the shocking truth for as long as possible. But it's only a matter of time before she uncovers it. What will unfold once Steffy realizes that Bill leveraged every connection he had to secure Luna's release from prison, even though it's not really any of her business? You can count on Steffy to be outraged with Bill for manipulating the situation and making Luna an even greater danger. After all, Luna's confinement was far more secure, so it's clear why Steffy would erupt in anger. It's inevitable that she will confront Bill, demanding an explanation for his reckless actions. Bill and Luna share an unusual bond that Steffy simply won't grasp. Yet Bill might emphasize his unique understanding of Luna in a way that eludes most others. Having faced his own challenges in childhood, Bill finds a connection with Luna's past struggles. He believes that Luna is on a path of personal growth and deserves the opportunity to realize her true potential. In Bill's eyes, she was stifled in a terrible environment, and he feels compelled to help her break free. Ultimately, the driving force behind Bill's decision to rescue Luna from prison was the imminent danger to her safety. B&B fans are well aware that Luna endured a brutal experience behind bars, and her situation could have turned dire if she had remained there any longer. This is why Bill might find himself saying to Steffy, "I couldn't just leave Luna there." He could argue that living with the knowledge of doing nothing while Luna's fate hung in the balance would have been unbearable for him. In his mind, it would have felt as if he bore some responsibility for her outcome. We predict that no matter what Bill says, it won't ease the situation. But that won't deter him from attempting to make amends when tensions rise, no matter what level of explosion from Steffy happens. Steffy Forrester was no stranger to chaos. As co-CEO of Forrester Creations and the fiercely protective mother of two, her life was a constant balancing act between family loyalty and corporate warfare. But even she hadn't anticipated the storm that was about to crash through her door, driven by none other than Bill Spencer. Unwelcome revelations. The tension was suffocating inside the Forrester mansion. Luna, confined to the elegant guest room under what felt increasingly like house arrest, stared out at the manicured garden, her mind racing. Ridge and Brooke's voices carried faintly down the hall, anxious, distrustful, and, worst of all, secretive. She was family, at least technically, but that hadn't stopped them from keeping her locked up like a dangerous secret. After all, Luna's unexpected return to Los Angeles had brought with it a wave of mysteries and old grudges that had been better left buried. Steffy, meanwhile, was at her wits' end. Lyon's return to Spencer Publications had thrown her off balance. Hope's incessant meddling in her marriage was driving her insane, and now this mess with Luna. She had spent the better part of the morning reviewing security footage and texts, searching for any clue to explain Luna's erratic behavior. When the doorbell rang, a foreboding chill slid down Steffy's spine. She took a breath, smoothed the non-existent wrinkles in her dress, and opened the door to find Bill Spencer standing there, imposing, impeccably dressed, and entirely too pleased with himself. "Bill," Steffy greeted, masking her nerves with cool professionalism. "This isn't a good time." "I'd say it's the perfect time," Bill countered, his smirk widening as he stepped inside uninvited. "We need to talk about Luna." A dangerous alliance. The last time Steffy had seen that look in Bill's eyes, it had led to a scandal that nearly tore her family apart. Her first instinct was to throw him out, but his next words stopped her cold. "She's not who you think she is." Steffy's eyes narrowed. "Meaning?" Bill leaned casually against the back of the sofa, taking his time, enjoying the upper hand. "Luna's been feeding information to someone. Someone who has a lot to gain by taking down Forrester Creations. The implication was a punch to the gut. Steffi's mind went to her father, to Thomas, to everyone who could be blindsided by such a betrayal. But even as her heart raced, her expression stayed glacial. Proof, she demanded, crossing her arms. Always straight to business, Bill chuckled. You haven't changed. And you're still a master at wasting my time, Steffi snapped. If you're just here to stir up trouble. Bill's smile vanished. He pulled a sleek tablet from his briefcase, a series of emails and encrypted messages already loaded. As Steffi skimmed through them, her stomach twisted. Dates, times, confidential designs leaked just days after strategy meetings. It was undeniable. But why? Steffi whispered, more to herself than to Bill. That's the question, Bill replied, his eyes dark and calculating. And I intend to find out. Luna's confession. Upstairs, Luna's fingers twitched restlessly. The isolation was suffocating, but it was the guilt that was worst of all. Secrets festered in her chest, a sickness she couldn't escape. When the door creaked open, her breath caught, half expecting Ridge or Thomas with more questions she couldn't answer. Instead, it was Steffi, and the look in her eyes was nothing short of lethal. You have one chance to tell me the truth, Steffi said, voice dangerously quiet. Who are you working for? Luna's eyes flickered with fear and something else, something Steffi couldn't quite place. But it was Bill who stepped forward, eyes cold. Don't bother lying, he said, his voice like steel. We know everything. Cornered and trembling, Luna's defenses crumbled. She sank onto the edge of the bed, words tumbling out in a rush. About blackmail, about debts that had spiraled out of control, and about a name that made Steffi's blood run cold. Sheila, Luna whispered, eyes wide and pleading, Sheila Carter. The 6 words. Steffi's mind was a storm, rage, betrayal, fear. But Bill was stone cold, barely flinching at the revelation. He had suspected Sheila's involvement long before Luna's confession. But Steffi's fury needed a target. You knew, she accused Bill, voice shaking. You knew, and you didn't say anything. Bill's eyes darkened. I needed confirmation, he snapped. And now we have it. Steffi's fists clenched, nails biting into her palms. But before she could retort, Bill leaned in, voice low and deadly serious. I can protect your family. 6 words. That was all it took to change everything. Steffi stilled, searching his eyes for any trace of deceit. But all she saw was ruthless determination. The same look Bill had worn when he'd taken over Spencer Publications, when he faced down Ridge, when he declared war on anyone who threatened his family. At what cost? She demanded, voice barely more than a whisper. Bill's smile was slow, a predator's smile. That, he said smoothly, depends on you. Deals with the devil. Hours later, Steffi found herself alone in her office, lights dimmed, Bill's proposition echoing in her ears. She had already pulled every security measure she could think of, locked down the designs for the new collection, doubled the guards at Forrester Creations. But Sheila's reach was long, her vendettas legendary. Bill's offer was the logical choice. But trusting him felt like making a deal with the devil, one she wasn't sure they'd survive. Her phone buzzed, breaking the silence. A text from Bill. Think it over. Time's running out. Steffi closed her eyes, the weight of the decision pressing down like a vice. She had fought for her family before, against Bill, against Sheila, against every enemy who had tried to tear them apart. This time, though, the stakes felt higher. And the cost of losing wasn't something she could afford. The beginning of the end. By morning, Steffi's path was clear. She dialed Bill's number, fingers steady even as her pulse raced. Let's do this, she said, voice hard as steel. But if you double-cross me, I'll bury you. Bill's laugh was dark, almost approving. I wouldn't expect anything less. As the call ended, Steffi exhaled, shoulders squaring. The battle was coming, and with Bill as her reluctant ally, she knew it would be brutal. But for her family, for Forrester Creations, she'd face whatever came, even if it meant trusting Bill Spencer. Thanks for watching this video, and please subscribe our Bold and BAUTGFUL UPDATE YouTube channel for more update news.